Hi guys, today we'll look into a scenario in which the US and Mexico goes to war. Mexico's geography is kind of like this. Basically, this is mostly flat-ish. I think it's around the coast. Kind of looks like, and then the rest is kind of like Afghanistan's geography, I believe. And those two areas are mountains. So basically, if you were to invade, you would basically only have this area to invade. It definitely crosses the mountains, but that could be south or north. But it's hard to invade a mountain. This mountain also, I think, continues up north, which is big. It's a big area. And so, well, the war would most likely break out. I don't know why, but there would be some reason. Maybe Manifest Destiny comes back. Well, Canada would be nervous. But I doubt Canada would go against America, because why would Canada? And begins, the United States invades Mexico. But luckily, they don't do a land invasion first, they do a sea attack. Which is pretty smart, getting sea domination first. And they're also using their air force to take air domination over Mexico. And well, they're achieving it, but not long after the war begins, countries pick side. We see the East leading collaborations against the United States, calling it American imperialism, such as Russia, who starts leading it off. And they try to get Armenia to help them, but Armenia basically does nothing. But they get Central Asia. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Uzbekistan is turning towards the west, so I'm not going to do anything. Iran gets involved in this. China gets involved in this. Sanction rams North Korea. Yeah. Countries that dislike America. But then pretty much all of Europe, except Switzerland, Serbia, and other countries, don't get involved. Well, Kosovo probably would get, yeah. They basically force the West to help them. Spain they get, Italy they get, Austria, Germany, Hungary, Poland, Slovakia. The Nordics, because why wouldn't they? Moldova got involved on the good side. Canada gets them. Canada, which is America's puppet state, gets involved. Yeah, that's definitely probable. Let's just pretend in this scenario the world's a little dicey. Well, with getting support in North America, a majority of nations within Central America help them. But we have one person that's an outlier. Cuba, who actually gets involved. Cuba, were you thinking this through? You know what Cuba does? Wait and see. They start kicking the Navy back. the American Navy. This is definitely not some kind of joke that they're pushing up. And then they get to Washington, and you know what Cuba does? They capitulate America. You believe me? Yeah, they do. Oof. How did they do that? Don't ask me. Well, you want to see what reality actually is? It's pretty sad. And America's like, yeah, Cuba, you thought that was possible? Well, actually, Cuba never invaded them. Oof. Now to the invasion of Mexico into the deserts. The desert jungles. And they push into some northern areas. A lot of northern areas in Mexico are pro-America. Extremely pro. And they make landings here along the flat areas. But with some of their naval landings, they underestimated the will of the people. This landing, due to fierce fighting, remains contested. And then this area, eventually, something out there happens. And North America ends up involved in the war. And why did I color? Yeah. Okay, we didn't need to do that. That should not have happened. I guess I used the same color. That would have been bad. But I did. See? We need to fix that weird color. And so, phase part. A multi-part war. Where quickly Costa Rica is overrun, El Salvador is overrun, and Belize. And they start pushing here. But Venezuela front, on the other hand, American forces that were in Cuba prepared for this, because this was the most expected way of the war getting larger. They stormed the jungle mountain. How? Explain that, America. How do you manage to do it this time, but you couldn't do it in the 1970s? But you're just America. And so America pushes into Baja California. And why does it sound like Baja? And then they go into Baja California, sir. And they basically just keep raising the flags. And they start pushing in the north, slowly, due to fierce resistance. And they start pushing out towards Mexico City again, but not getting as far, because they're slowed. Their advance is slowed. But America gets its Navy together and is like, hey, Navy and friends. And how did they do that? Oh, yeah, you know why? Because they're America, and America can do whatever they please. And yeah, they kick them out. And so in the South, well, they slowly advance. Because Mexico is completely ready for this fight. And they connect here. Mexican forces are encircled in Honduras and Nicaragua. But they manage to hold on. It's seen as heroic. And then America starts pushing in, fails because mountains, you know. And then they push just north of Mexico City, cut the country into two. But as seen by Mexican forces, do this. They kick them out, but not as well. And they kick them back here and here. It's seen as heroism by the Mexican people. And yeah, pretty wild what's going on. Well, Mexico starts having a problem. They fall back again. Some authorities think they're going to collapse, but they do an unthinkable and encircle the American forces. But they're well equipped. They're not fighting Mexico, they're fighting the people. Yep, they do pretty well, but they keep getting beat around. It's like, but being beat around is not that bad. After making a successful naval, and the encircled chunk of the Mexican army gets pushed back. But they still keep fighting. And why? Because they can. These forces refuse to surrender despite starving. Yep, let's say. But maybe they wouldn't fight like this. You never know. And they start pushing in the mountains. The cartels are a lot of. Well, rebels pop up, pro-Mexican government rebels in most fronts. With these partisan forces, major advances are made. But as one downside, as America starts sending in more forces. Oof. But these partisans stay well behind the front lines to sneak up again. They start bombing convoys and stuff. But one big convoy heads towards Mexico City, and another minor one, and they encircle the city. No, they don't. They just move north. So let's say, so this is the Battle of Mexico City, the climax of the story. Whatever happens here is what we'll see at the end of the video. Yeah. Do 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 do. You're gonna save me. Do 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 do. And Mexico City falls. But those forces that have been fighting for the last 3 months in a different area, guess what? They're still fighting. But then instead of being surrendering, they just end up being all killed, suspiciously. And then America moves into the Yucatan, decimating it with Mexican forces retreating from Guatemala and from the south. And why are they retreating? Because, well, they kind of have to. A lot of forces retreat because they have to. With this northern front area not falling, America starts naval bombarding the coast. But this just leads to the forces wanting to fight more. And so they start pushing down just north of Mexico City. Second battle breaks out as enemy forces start heading in, almost encircling the city, taking 50% of Mexico City. America, furious, decimates these forces. And they push south, taking out the southern holding aggressively. And with this, American forces paratroopers start landing everywhere. And they have support of the Air Force. And this is what happens to Mexico as it falls. And I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Yeah. But guess what? You should subscribe, but we have one more thing to do. Draw a peace treaty. That was drafted up. So Mexico lost land to America, and Yucatan in there. Belize gained land from Guatemala. El Salvador gained land, I believe, a bit from Guatemala, a bit from Honduras. Nicaragua lost land to Costa Rica. Colombia gains this land. Cuba is annexed. Brazil annexes a weird chunk of land. This is an American puppet. American puppet, 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 puppet. Why so many American puppets? Because I said so. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please like and subscribe. That's all for today's video. Wild Mappa out.